Perfect. Thank you for joining us today for Canadian Underground Infrastructure Innovation Center Academy webinar. The title is Advancing Innovation, CUIIC Year in Review and the Road Ahead. Before we dive into the slides, my name is Ali Bayat. I'm the faculty member at the University of Alberta. I'm director of the CUIIC. I'll be hosting today's session. So before we start, CUIIC basically Academy is organized by CUIIC, University of Alberta, and the Benjamin Media. They offer basically classes, courses, webinars, and events to help further underground infrastructure educational opportunities across Canada. As part of CUIIC Academy, the CUIIC webinars happen every third Thursday of the month. Please join us for our next installment. It's going to be on May 21st. For a full list of upcoming and past webinars also, you can visit CUIIC.ca for more information. CUIIC in-person events. In March, we had the CUIIC basically Spring Summit. Fall Summit is going to be on September 15 to 17 in Vancouver. It's going to cover pipeline rehabilitation and underground safety. Again, visit CUIIC.ca for more information on the CUIIC Fall Summit. I would like to thank basically our webinar sponsors for 2026 is Ackerman. They are sponsoring this webinar series for this year. We are going to go through committee's update. So I think we will have a full list of speakers updating about different activity, but just a few slides on overall CUIIC. It's a center at the University of Alberta, started in 2022. The goal is education to be a world-class center on education, research, and innovation on the underground infrastructure innovation overall. I talked about CUIIC Academy. The webinars is been, I think we have done 50 plus webinars. More than 9,000 people have attended, benefited from this educational content over the past 4 years. More than 12 educational events in 3 provinces, Alberta, BC, and Ontario, that's been offered. A lot of attendees, a lot of speakers from industry coming and exchanging the knowledge. On the research side as well, a large group of researchers, faculties from different universities across the country, as well as grad students and undergrad students are working. Our research portfolio is close to $8 million. And we are working on different aspects of underground research, from greenhouse gas to wetland and different topics that are happening within the CUIIC. All of this is happening through participation. As I mentioned, there are close to 90 organizations that are involved with CUIIC. They are CUIIC members. Their staff are participating on different aspects of the education and research and innovation. And none of these would have been possible without the involvement of all these companies and their staff members. With that, we're just going to quickly move to committee updates, and we're going to go through each committee, spend a few minutes, and the committee basically chairs will update us about the activities. So the first on the queue is our industry and membership committee, and Otto is going to talk a little bit about the committee activity.
Thank you, Ali. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, I guess, depending on where you're joining from. My name is Otto Hedges. I'm the Vice President, Development with NAC Management. We're a land developer based out of Edmonton, Alberta. We work primarily in developing new neighborhoods in the greater Edmonton area. I've been doing this in some capacity for the past 20 plus years, and I've had the opportunity to work closely with planners, consultants, contractors, municipalities, regulatory authorities to help bring new communities to life. More recently, I've been completing a graduate studies program at the U of A, And that, combined with my work experience, has really shaped my perspective on the importance of collaboration across industry. That's why I joined the CUIIC Industrial and Membership Committee. A little bit about the Membership Committee. At a high level, the purpose of this committee is twofold. First, we oversee industry-related initiatives within CUIIC, and secondly, we manage membership matters. More importantly, the committee plays a key role in promoting the objectives of CUIIC and fostering collaboration across the industry. The committee is made up of 9 positions. Currently, we have 8 active members. We meet monthly. The size of our committee allows us to bring a range of perspectives to the table, but still keeps us nimble and effective. In terms of responsibilities, the committee focuses on establishing long-term objectives that reflect the needs and priorities of our members. That's really kind of the core of what we do. We make sure the organization stays aligned with the people that it represents. There are 2 key responsibilities of our committee. The first is membership management. This includes recruitment, retention, and engagement. We're always asking ourselves, how do we attract new members? How do we keep existing members involved? And how do we make sure people are getting value from being part of CUIIC? The second is industrial initiatives. This is where we focus on stakeholder collaboration. We bring together different parts of the industry to promote innovation and to share knowledge. Challenges that we have within industry are getting increasingly complex. Collaboration isn't necessarily optional anymore, it's essential. And this committee is one of the ways that we help to facilitate that. Some of the current initiatives we are pursuing include surveys, membership awards, and industry functions. Surveys help us to better understand member needs and industry trends. Membership awards recognize the contributions and achievements within the industry. We also help to organize and contribute to industry functions. These functions are key opportunities for networking, knowledge sharing, and collaboration. We're planning our construction startup mixer for Edmonton area in the coming weeks, pending, of course, the playoff schedule coming out to make sure we don't land on the same night that the Oilers are playing. These activities are all aimed at strengthening the community, making sure that CUIIC remains relevant and, of course, valuable to its members. How to become a member? Well, members are nominated from within the CUIIC membership, so you have to be a CUIIC member to be a committee member. Once nominated or volunteer, if you want to volunteer, from there the nominations go through a review and assessment process. Appointments typically 1 to 2 years, and those terms are renewable. For anyone that's not sure if they want to fully commit to being on the committee, we have something called the Friends of Committee. That's a great way for individuals to get involved, contribute, stay connected without a full committee commitment. It's a good way to test the waters of the committee, and it's a nice flexible entry point to get involved. To wrap up, the Industrial Membership Committee, it's really about connecting people, ideas, and opportunities within our industry, whether it's through growing our membership, supporting collaboration, or advancing industry initiatives. The goal is to ensure that CUIIC continues to provide meaningful value to its members. If you are interested in getting involved, I definitely encourage you to reach out. We're always looking for people who are passionate about the industry and want to contribute. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Otto, for the update. With that, let's move to our next committee, Education and Outreach Committee, and Jason.
Hey, good day, everyone. I'm Jason Lueke. I'm Associated Engineering's National Discipline Leader for Trenchless Technology, and I chair CUIIC's Education and Outreach Committee. My professional background is in trenchless engineering and underground infrastructure, and a big part of what I've always enjoyed is the educational side of the industry. And this is where I like helping share knowledge, support training, and connect people through practical learning opportunities. And I think that nicely summarizes what we try to do here on the Education and Outreach Committee. What I want to do today is just give you a quick update on what the Education and Outreach Committee is, what we do, what we worked on in 2025, and some of the things we're going to be doing in 2026. Our committee helps lead CUIIC's professional development outreach efforts. That includes the webinar program, which I think is the most relevant, not the most relevant, but most visible aspect. Supports for broader educational initiatives, And we do this in coordination with our technical subcommittees to turn good technical content into useful industry programming. Our job is to make CUIIC's knowledge visible, and accessible, and useful. 2025 was a very strong year, and 2026 already has some good momentum. The committee is continuing to support the webinar program, but we're again more involved in larger educational initiatives and more coordinated national programming. So we'll take a look at the 2025 webinar program here. And again, like I said before, this is a big part of what the Education Outreach Committee does. This is our monthly webinar program. In 2025, we've continued, as Ali's mentioned, for the last 4 years, I think, three for sure, 4 maybe. In 2025, we've delivered 12 webinars on a broad range of topics. Our goal is not to be narrow. We're trying to cover everything in every space related to underground infrastructure. We had topics ranging from emergency response and safety, through to machine learning, utility history, construction inspection, and rehabilitation. A number of those sessions had really strong turnout. So the program continues to give CUIIC a consistent and visible educational presence in the industry. At the end of the day, the webinar series is one of the simplest and most effective ways for CUIIC to share knowledge with our broad audience. So beyond the webinars, you know, the webinars are a big part of how CUIIC started, but we're moving on, and not moving on, but we're expanding, I guess. The monthly webinar program continues to be a core part of what we do. The committee's focus has expanded beyond that alone, though. Over the past year, we've been working more closely with the pipeline rehabilitation, the geotechnical and safety subcommittees to support broader education planning across CUIIC. And that really shifts our thinking from being more about isolated monthly sessions to more of a connected educational program. In practical terms, this has meant helping support larger initiatives like the academies and summits, and also discussing additional formats and future topics that can strengthen CUIIC's overall educational offerings. So this committee is increasingly serving as a coordination point, not just for the webinar delivery, but also for how CUIIC develops and connects educational activities more broadly. So looking beyond 2026, or if we're looking ahead, and 2026 is already off to a great start. Our webinar program is in place. We have topics identified across the year, and so we're continuing to build the momentum. We're always looking for new topics, new presenters. If anyone has interest in presenting or a topic they'd like to hear, by all means, please reach out. We're always looking for new ideas. We're always going to be planning new monthly webinars. 2027 is not that far away, so we're already got to start looking at planning those. So if anybody has topics or ideas, please send them over. We also saw a major step forward this year with the CUIIC Summit East that occurred in March. And something new for this year, we brought together a program of geotechnical, microtunneling, and HDV content into a multi-day format, and showed the value of a more integrated educational model. Planning is underway for Summit West in September, and safety and pipe rehabilitation will be forming the core of that event. 2026 is going to be really about just building on what we already started, strengthening coordination, improving programming, and continuing to spread CUIIC national reach. So just to wrap up, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that contributes to the Education Outreach Committee and the broader CUIIC educational effort. A lot of work happens because of all the people here that volunteer their time, help with ideas, support speakers and planning, and keep things moving behind the scenes. Also want to acknowledge the support from the pipe rehab, the geotechnical and safety subcommittees across those groups. And just overall, just thank everyone who's contributed. We've built some good momentum, and looking forward to seeing what we can continue in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason, for the update. Again, as Jason mentioned, the Education Committee has been greatly busy with offering of different programs. So there are multiple subcommittees. The first one on the list is Geotechnical Subcommittee, and Tamer.
Okay, thank you, Ali. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tamer Elshimi. I'm one of the partners at Thurber Engineering in Edmonton, and I'm the current chair of CUIIC Geotechnical Subcommittee. I have 26 years of experience in the field of geotechnical engineering, about 20 years in Canada. I'll just give a brief overview of the Geotechnical Subcommittee, highlight some of the events we have organized over the past couple of years, and then share what we have planned moving forward. So the Geotechnical Subcommittee was initiated in December 2023 with the goal of advancing research and education in geotechnical engineering for underground infrastructure in Canada. We started with 6 members from Alberta and BC, and we have since grown to over 15 members with more than 10 active members. We typically meet on a monthly basis and sometimes more frequently depending on the initiative. Our group presents a diverse mix of professionals, including geotechnical engineers, infrastructure specialists, utility owners, contractors, and students. And over the past 2 years, our focus has been on 2 main areas. First, organized summits and workshops that provide targeted geotechnical educational content. And second, hosting webinars on timely and relevant topics for the Geotechnical and Infrastructure Committee. So over the past 2 years, we have organized 2 in-person one-day workshops, one in Edmonton in 2024 and another one in Vancouver in 2025, as well as a 3-day summit in Toronto, the Spring Summit that was organized by the Geotechnical Committee. The summit included standalone workshops on geotechnical engineering, tunneling, and HDD. These events covered a range of important topics that interest professionals across multiple sectors of the industry throughout Canada. In total, these events attracted approximately 300 attendees, which really highlights the demand for high-quality geotechnical learning opportunities. In addition to the in-person events, we have also organized several webinars over the past 2 years. These sessions were designed to be accessible and relevant to both CUIIC members and the broader industry, and they have been well received. Looking ahead, we're planning a geotechnical workshop in Alberta in 2027, which will be part of a larger CUIIC event. This workshop will likely include a panel discussion with industry experts focusing on some of the key challenges facing the geotechnical field today. We also plan to offer online sessions, like 3 to 4 hours long sessions, as they provide flexibility and eliminate travel requirements. Again, these sessions will be coordinated with other CUIIC committees. In terms of webinars, we are planning 1 more webinar for the Geotechnical Committee in 2026 in November, and 2 more webinars in 2027, each focused on topics that are highly relevant to practitioners across Canada. And we're always looking for engaged and committed members from across Canada to join the committee. So if you are a CUIIC member and interested in getting involved, please feel free to reach out to me directly or visit CUIIC website for more information. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamer. I've attended a lot of the Geotech subcommittees, a very live group, a lot of good discussion. So, and Tamer has played a key role in putting all these initiatives together. With that, let's move to Safety Subcommittee and Steve.
Yeah, good day, everyone. Steve Joyce here, Corporate Safety Manager with the Shanghai Construction Group. I've been in the profession for 17 years in construction management and safety, and I'm the chair of the Safety Subcommittee with CUIIC. We have a really good group of people on our committee that are very invested in sharing their experiences, life experiences and industry experiences, so that we can all work safer, the industry gets better, and all of our people are very committed to that. So the CUIIC Safety Committee has 10 active members. The team is right now planning for the Fall CUIIC Summit in Vancouver, September 15th to the 17th, with a underground infrastructure and trench rescue for the two major themes. We're doing topics such as spiral wound liner install during low flow. Excavations don't have to be a big problem or cause problems, any excavations. Live sewer entry, underground best practices panel discussions, why leadership is a skill and not a rule book, just culture and psychological safety, mental health in the workplace, and a mental health psychological panel as well. So a lot of very exciting topics there, get people talking and sharing their experiences. As well, with those topics, we're very focused on the panel discussions to enable people to have that ability to ask questions and start those valid and really exciting conversations, get people engaged so that we can share things and topics. And mainly the big is to be able to take it back out into the field. That's really what we're focused on, and being able to give people that opportunity. Oh, that's it. As well, I just want to add, if anybody's interested in reaching out and joining the safety subcommittee, they can reach out through our CUIIC group there, and we're always looking for people to join the team there on the safety side of the subcommittee. So with that, I'll pass it on to Justin.
Thank you, Steve. Justin is not able to attend the session, so I'm just gonna go through basically a few slides that he had. Justin is a PhD candidate at the U of A, and is researching on geotech and horizontal directional drilling. He's chairing basically the young professional subcommittee. And the goal for young professionals is to promote activity among basically students and basically early career professionals on different aspects. They meet monthly, and they have their own webinar series. Currently, there are 23 young professionals from a wide range of industry organizations, multiple universities across North America. I know there are people even from Mexico attending their meetings. Besides CUIIC regular webinar series, they have their own seminar series. So far, they have had 4 of them. And it's a good platform that students and researchers come together and discuss basically different aspects. They had recently a call for new members. So for students and early career professionals, they're out there interested to get more engaged with this group. Again, they're very active. They meet each other in different conferences and all that. So I encourage you to reach out to Justin and be involved. Let's move to our next subcommittee, Pipe Rehab Subcommittee, and George Bontus.
Thanks, Ellie. I'm the chair for the Pipe Rehabilitation Subcommittee. I've been involved with CUIIC since the very early days. I've been involved in the pipe rehabilitation industry for over 25 years, 22 of which have been with In-Situ-Form Technologies. Someone mentioned earlier about the I guess, the enjoyment or the focus on educating and that. And I've been able to participate in a lot of presentations and committees to help with that through AWWA, NASCO, and ASC as well. So what we're focused on is currently our prime focus is developing and carrying out, coordinating the annual pipe Rehabilitation Academy. We've got over 20 members on our group. The active ones, we've got a group of about 10 of them that participate on a pretty regular basis. So we've got quite a range of inputs and perspectives that we can bring to bear. For the academy planning, we're trying to offer a wide range of rehabilitation topics. We bring in industry recognized experts and practitioners to present on a variety of topics. We also participate with the Education and Outreach Committee to source speakers and topics for their webinars and other requirements. So I have an error on this slide, but that'll be all right. We've run 3 successful pipe rehab academies beginning in 2023 in Mississauga. We were back there in 2025, and in 2024 we were in Vancouver. We're back in Vancouver this September, from the 15th to the 17th, I believe, and we're contributing to the 2026 summit with not the Geotechnical, but the Safety Committee. My apologies for that to the Safety Committee. When we started doing these things, we went into hard technical and process presentations. So we had, upwards of a dozen to 15 presenters talking about different processes, different aspects of trenchless technology that are important for people to understand and know about. What we've done in the last couple of, the last academy and the one coming up is we've gone more to a board scenario, not a board, but a panel, and we've asked municipal presenters to come in and talk about how do they view trenchless technology, what are they afraid of, what are they comfortable with, what kind of projects do they undertake, and how do they decide. So what we're focusing on for the 2026 Academy is what are the issues that we face, how do we assess them, and how do we address them. So we will have, we're going more to the interactive, the panel type presentations, but we still have some hardcore technology for up and coming and issues that people may not be that aware of. And over to Caroline.
Hi, thanks, George. My name is Caroline, and I am a senior project engineer at the City of Waterloo. I'll just give a quick background here. I have on the slide there my bachelor's is in geological engineering, and I did a master's in civil, where my research focused on water main rehabilitation. What I wanted to focus on a little bit is that after that I spent 2 years, at that time it was the Center for Advancement in Trenchless Technologies at the University of Waterloo. LA and I both had the same supervisor, and I continued after to help out with some contract research work at the university and while I was doing my master's. So I've always seen the value in research and how when it's connected with industry, it is really the research that's going to help the industry. So I've always sort of, thankful looking back that I had that opportunity to understand how research can benefit the more practical side of the engineering that we do. I went on to have 10 years in consulting, and now I've been in at the city now for about 10 years. So that's just a little bit of my background. The committee overview. The purpose of of this committee, which is really we're just in our infancy. We're just getting started. You've seen the other committee chairs talk about the things their committees have been doing, and the purpose here is to, like I was saying, with CUIIC being based at the University of Alberta, we really want to tie the members and the education in with the research side that Ali's doing and at the University of Alberta. So to help identify some of those potential research topics, what are the industry needs we have right now? What are some of the challenges or critical knowledge gaps that are related to understanding in underground infrastructure, all related to that? And so it's a really great opportunity, like I said, in CUIIC to have the research committee that can, and that's the next part, is that we want to have that collaboration with the other committees. Is there a question?
We will deal with question, Caroline, at the end.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So Otto, who spoke first about the membership committee, he's actually agreed to be on this committee. So that's great, because I think there'll be hopefully for a very tight connection with the members. And then I also see with Jason's group, the education group, I think there's a lot of opportunity there to do some joint events potentially, or to assist with some of what they're working on. So the collaboration with the other committees will be a really key objective of this group. The other thing this committee wants to do is to set some short and long-term objectives related to how we want to advance the research awareness and that collaboration amongst other CUIIC members, but also the broader research community. So the other universities, any other groups that are out there, we think it's also a great opportunity to kind of broaden those connections. The composition of the committee would be similar to the other committees you've seen. We're hoping to have at least 9 members, and hopefully they're representative from academia, some industry, consulting, private sector, public sector. So a broad range of what the industry is. Currently, Ellie and myself have reached out, and we have 8 members who are interested in joining. I have them listed there on the screen, and we're just in the process of trying to find a time for our initial kickoff meeting where we can start getting to work on getting some of those action items I discussed. And I'll just sort of add here before I sign off that if anyone is interested, please reach out to myself or Ali, and we'll get you involved. And yeah, there's I think lots of potential and opportunity here. So please reach out if it's something you think you'd be interested in. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Caroline. So that concludes our committee updates. Thank you all. I think in 34 minutes we covered so many committees in a brief way. So we have time for a few questions. So there is a place that you can type your question, and I can answer, or all our committee members as well to participate in answering. The first question is around what are key benefits from participating in CUIIC. I'll say mine. I think is a community, like the way I see it, is a center focused on education and research. So all these 90 organizations coming together basically to promote education and research. That's the focus we have. And then the community is diverse. There are people from water, there are people from energy, there are people from telecom. So the discussions that happens on the committees whenever I attend is very interesting. There's a lot of knowledge that could be exchanged and shared among different members from different basically sectors. I'll pause. Anyone else wants to add anything? No? Okay. If you had to pick one priority for 2026 that would move the needle quickly, what would it be? Just ask Jason from Education Committee. Jason, what would be the highlight or the most, like, the important priority for the Education Committee?
You're putting me on the spot here a little bit, but I'll give it a shot. I guess from my perspective, and I guess why I get involved or involved in CUIIC is I think there needs to be a spot for the rest of us, if that makes any sense. And anyone that knows me, I've been heavily involved in the trenchless technology world for a long time. NASTT, the no-digs, ASE pipelines, all those places. And what I like about CUIIC and where I think the greatest benefit we have is we provide a location that's not strictly focused on trenchless. We try to get the broad underground infrastructure industry involved. So whether you're doing open cut, whether you're doing trenchless, whether you're doing power, gas, whatever it might be, this is where I think that we have an opportunity to provide and fill that niche in the industry for the owners, the consulting engineers, and anybody who needs to get some more education, continual professional development related to just general underground infrastructure, regardless of how it's installed, where it's installed. So, I mean, in terms of what we want to do in 2026 and forward is just to continue to be broad and in terms of the topics and the areas that we talk about, to kind of fulfill that general need of a general, call it a place for the rest of us to be, kind of thing, that are in the general infrastructure, in a municipal general infrastructure industry. So, I don't know.
Thank you, Jason, and sorry for putting you on the spot. So, the next question for Caroline: what are some gaps between research and industry that the research committee is hoping to tackle this year?
Thanks, Ali. Like I said, we're still trying to get that first, our initial kickoff committee meeting going. But I think, and this is where it's great that Otto's on the committee, because I think it's really reaching out to members to find out first, to identify, like, first we have to figure out what those gaps are. And then, so I don't necessarily know the answer to that. And I think to what Jason was talking about with, it's a very diverse group of members. Sometimes, I'm a municipal, that's my specialty, but there's oil and gas. There could be things that we don't know that each other have challenges with, and maybe we've figured out a solution. And so I think there's an opportunity there with the diverse members to learn from each other and see if they have similar gaps or if they've already found solutions. Or so I think that's going to be a big push in the next year to really figure out how we can reach out and identify what those gaps are.
Thank you, Caroline. You mentioned Otto. If Otto, you are here, I know you guys are working on some identification of gap or identifying the problems. Do you want to say a few words, Otto?
Sure. Yeah. As an industry, we do come up with problems time to time that we need some help to solve. And what's happened to us pre-CUIIC was we be in a silo trying to solve those problems. We're in our little city of Edmonton, and we've got a problem. And rather, we didn't have the capacity or the capability to even look as far as Calgary or Winnipeg to see maybe they had the same problem and they solved it. We didn't have that collaboration, that interconnection, which CUIIC gives us. Further to that, when we do have a problem and nobody else has solved it, what's our next steps? We get stuck. With the tie-in through CUIIC with academia and industry, that enables us to get unstuck. So we do have some initiatives that we're going to be working on here in the next year with Bill and with Caroline, which are going to be kind of exciting to see how that whole process kind of flushes through problem solving and tying academia into real real world industry issues that we have every day. And yeah, I think CUIIC is a key proponent of enabling that communication and collaboration.
Awesome. Thank you, Otto. I think that we're at the time. So this concludes our webinar today. Before we end, I just want to thank again all the CUIIC member organization. Through their support, again, we are able to run the CUIIC and perform the CUIIC activities. Thank you all for attending, and see you in the next CUIIC event.